Episode 51, we got to go to Salem, Massachusetts with Kevin McCafferty. Thank you, Kevin, for letting us in on a little bit of the history behind Salem itself. There's so much there between, the witch trials, and he said that he had renovated a home that had no nails, no screws, nothing. It was all tongue and groove, and basically it was made out of what a ship would be made out of, he said. So super interesting stuff. I think this is our longest podcast so far.
Close. It was like 58 minutes. It's like we got
this one was like 59.
Got some pushing that hour mark for sure. We could have got wrapped up in like the history of Salem. I didn't really know too much about it. This one was on her. She wanted to go and find someone, and Kevin is a hustler out there too. He has a team that's just doing great. But yeah, no, that's kind of cool that the older houses, because the settlement of the ships coming in, because they are right there by the harbor and the ocean and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. I've never been in a lot of homes. I don't think I've ever seen the tongue and groove built, no nails, no screws.
Yes. I'm definitely interested to go and see Salem. See that one.
I think one of the most interesting things about that house is he actually had somebody hit him up from New York. Someone, like a group of investors, and they specifically wanted to know if the house was haunted or had like some spiritual thing to it, because that's what they buy. So if you know anyone that's looking for haunted houses or things of like unnatural spirits or
entities,
yes, reach out to Kevin, because he knows people that are interested in buying that kind of thing specifically. But no, it's kind of cool. I mean, there is a lot of deep history, and it does go back and get pretty graphic, I guess you could say, back in the day.
I mean, if you
look
into it, yeah.
What it was. And I mean, there was some really crazy stuff that actually gone down. So there are haunted places, and you could go and experience. Definitely a place of interest. I think if you're into that kind of thing, he said that it's really developing into something that people come all year round. Yeah,
they usually have a tourist season, but he said that it's becoming a year round thing now. So yeah, so it is kind of cool. I'd like to see like the history, and I'm sure you go there and kind of get some goosebumps and stuff. I'd get lost there. And he says you do see people, there's a lot of Wiccan there, and people do practice, and it is definitely something that's prevalent in the town, and people are walking around. So definitely an interesting place, and the market is definitely, it's just right outside of Boston, which every time we kept saying Boston market made me hungry. I just think of like warm chicken pot pie from Boston market. But on a different note, prices are definitely up there. It's not the cheapest place. A lot of people are selling around from the bigger cities and going there. Prices for land have gotten pretty astronomical, where developers kind of pumping the brakes a little bit. 450, 500. That's where you're at affordability wise on a home. Inventory levels are like rock bottom. There's not a lot of stuff under 400,000. I mean, you might find some condos. Nothing really too crazy, property tax or anything like that, but a couple of places that he mentioned was the hospital is huge, and the city of Salem. Also, in regards to restaurants, it is Massachusetts. So roast beef sandwiches. I mean, I wouldn't have pinned it for being famous for roast beef sandwiches, but if you want a good roast beef, go to King's Roast Beef and get that, or go to Finn's for a lobster roll, because obviously that was the obvious choice for food. Yeah, she kind of cut me off on that one. I was trying to find out where the good lobster roll and clam chowder was, and she's like, boom, roast beef, where's it at? Need to know. So no, it was pretty fun. We did spend some time talking about the history of Salem, a little more than we typically do in a city. We kind of evenly spread it out, city, market, but we kind of spent a little more time talking about the history, since it is kind of unique and different. And I mean, it's definitely not something that most places have. No, definitely not. Some places have like maybe a house that might be haunted that people are like, but I mean, you got a whole city and a whole dynamic. So much history there. Real estate market, we rapid fired through everything because we spent some time there, but
Kevin is very knowledgeable, so he made it very quick and not feel rushed. So
if you have any other questions though, since we did, unfortunately make that segment a little bit smaller, just reach out to Kevin. Kevin will be able to just about answer any question you can throw at him, and he could probably do it fairly quickly, as we learned in this podcast.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. He does a lot of production, him and his team out there. So they definitely know what's going on with the market, and he's been in the business a long time. So if you have any questions about the city itself or what's going on with the market, hit him up. We dropped all this stuff below: Facebook, Instagram, phone number. Reach out to him, ask him some questions. And episode 51, Salem, Massachusetts, with Kevin McCafferty. I left that one for her. I didn't want to butcher his name. But if you like what we're doing, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, the podcast, leave a review, drop some likes, drop some comments. And we always appreciate your feedback. So the Pore Team, out.